All right, so yes, quarter one is complete, and we had a company record Q1 and best quarter we've ever had, $38.3 million. So, in case anyone's forgotten, sales is the most important department here. Just to let everybody know. Ask Barclay; he'll make sure to tell you that he's the best one out here as well. So. A little bit by brand. So we had just a little snapshot what we're going here. So Pulsar grew 62%. We're currently trending 25% over our goal for that brand. So this time last year, we had some pretty significant supply chain issues with the Russia-Ukraine issues, which happened all across Eastern Europe. So they are rocking and rolling. Demand is still hot, and we are in a good shape there. Sightmark, we were a little bit down over last year, but this was planned. We have some very large comp numbers coming up and a lot of opportunity here in the next couple of weeks. We just got notification this morning that the Wraith Thermal has officially left Thailand and will be here. We are hoping to launch on the 1st of May. So that's a big thing for the Sightmark brand. It's our first ever thermal product. Everyone here is probably either most of y'all have seen it or heard about it. So we're getting really close to that date and really excited about it. So we have a lot of shipments coming for May of that unit. That's going to do a whole lot for the revenue for that brand. So good big things coming there. A lot of opportunity there. That's probably our most in-stock brand that we have. We're probably in like a 98% in-stock rate for that brand right now. So a lot of opportunity there and a lot of room to grow. Firefield, down a little bit in Firefield. We have some new products coming out that Jonathan's team has done a really good job with expanding the Rapid Strike. So we're expecting a turnaround on that. Bullet Safe, new products coming as well. A lot of opportunity for what we have coming out there. And then Kofi and Enforce, you can see where we're sitting there. But again, record Q1, a lot of opportunity for growth. We see a lot of areas that we can improve, but very happy with the way we're trending right now overall as a company. I don't have any major red flags with any of the brands. Anything that's down right now, we feel like is going to rebound a little bit in Q2, Q3, based on the market trends that we're seeing and some of the reports that we're getting from customers. So again, not worried at all right there. A couple big things I'll go over, just hitting some high points here. So Hunt Shoot team, we have a new member, Bodie. Made quite a name for himself at the NRA convention. That was so he is now onboarded and officially calling dealers, working on his first trips and all that good stuff. Murdoch's, so that's a big win for us. We got put thermal in their Texas locations, and we had a 50% increase in a lot of our NBS, Sports Inc., and Worldwide shows, which is a good sign for quarters to come. Digital team, Kaylee's over there. They have worked. I got a new SEO person about 5 months ago-ish. We're starting to see a lot of the positive effects, website traffic. So Pulsar, we've seen a 97% increase in website traffic. This is organic traffic. 97% increase, Sightmark 25, and Firefield 60%. So we're seeing a lot more people come to the websites in higher quantities, which is really great. We have a new addition, Brooklyn. So she's taking over the Sightmark and Kofi are her two brands that she's managing those two web stores. And we've had some really, in terms of return on ad spend, we've got Amazon really cranking. Lisa's been managing that really well, along with Kaylee. And Google return, we're seeing a $4, for every dollar we spend, we're seeing a $4.42 return on any ads that we're running for that. So pretty solid there. The OEM team, Lalek's not here. I think he has something this morning, but we have officially, Taurus has picked us up. We're up on their website and in combos for that brand. And our first ever OEM rifle deal with Anderson is complete. That's going to be, I believe, a Chattanooga, one of our distributors is going to be a Chattanooga exclusive for them. LE team, a couple really cool wins. So we have officially started shipping WMLs to SEAL Team 7. That's a big name out there. So we have been, that's been in the works for a while, but we're starting to get consistent POs from that group for the Enforce mounted lights, which does a lot about that light and that brand. Royal Canadian 78 Axions went to the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. So that was a big win there. Multiple sheriff's offices, Pennsylvania game wardens, Arkansas Fish and Game, and we had our two newer reps make their first trips, which was positive. And then customer service, the unsung heroes of Q1. These guys were in a huge hole coming into Q1 out of SAP, and they managed to complete over 20,000 tickets in the course of 3 months. We onboarded 4 new employees, implemented macros, which are email communications out to the end users regarding the return process. And we are officially 100% caught up current on all outstanding tickets. So thank you to Chessa, Earl, and the rest of the team there. That was a big win. Thermal, Justin. So we have officially done a closeout deal for the remaining XG Thermions, that the old BAE sensor. So that one will start shipping later this year. So we've officially got the POs in hand for that, which was one of the largest POs that we've gotten this year. Solid growth for his guys, and we've been focusing a lot of time and effort on podcast reviews and content for the new Wraith Thermal that's coming out. So this will probably be the first ever release. I'll let Jared talk about this, where we have trove of videos and through the device footage, images, podcasts with different customers, end user reviews, pro staff reviews, media being ready to go right after the launch. So this has been our first one that we've actually been able to plan 6 months out, and it's going to be a very successful launch, and I'll let him talk about that. And national accounts. So we've added 124 new SKUs across 11 customers, which is a big thing. The more SKUs we get into these stores and on these sites, the more that affects revenue. We've also officially partnered with Shields and done custom display battery kits for all 30 Shields locations. This includes both SiteMark and Pulsar branded displays. Fun EDI projects.
Okay, so Wraith Thermal, Jeff just mentioned that. So we have one of the biggest launches in our company's history coming out here with Wraith Thermal. At the same time with SiteMark, we have just changed the standards of how we're going to communicate our brand to the consumer. So there are a few things we want to focus on here. We want to get really aggressive with our imagery. We're going to lifestyle imagery. So if you don't know what lifestyle imagery is, it actually shows an hunter in the scene, or it's an actual physical person. What we want the consumer to do is relate to what they're seeing in our advertising. I want to get really aggressive with it, and we've done a good job with that in the marketing department with this new campaign. We want aspirational imagery that makes you look at the imagery and say, hey, I want to be there. And then we say, hey, we have the product to offer you to get you there. So I'm going to show you a few images here. My presentation is all pictures. There are no facts and figures up there, so I'll talk to some of this. But so Wraith Thermal coming out. This is our new advertising, which looks a little contrasty here. But anyhow, we're really aggressive with the type of imagery we're using here. So we have a faceless hunter there in an environment that's aspirational, really gritty, really dirty looking. We want to highlight the durability of our products, the advantages that are brought to the consumer by buying this product. You can see this is a full page ad on the left. That other one was a 2-page spread. And then on the right, this is our digital advertising. Still aggressive. It doesn't have firearms in there. It allows us to advertise just about anywhere. Yet it's a very aggressive looking imagery there. And everything from our imagery to the copy we use, the campaign is when night falls, hogs fall. We're also going to have a coyote advertisement. We're also going to have a bobcat advertisement. When night falls, coyotes fall. So we're maintaining an aggressive stance with this. You'll see a lot of advertising coming out initially with this. We're going in. We'll be in Guns and Ammo over the next few months. We'll be in Recoil, in Athlon's publications, Ballistic. You'll see a lot of advertising. So the way we also want to target our advertising here, we initially on the launch, we're going to do a lot of advertising. You'll see it fall off a little bit. Then as we get into the season, the buying season for this, end of September, beginning of October, we'll ramp this back up. So we really want to focus our advertising on the buying season. So you'll see eventually that this type of look will follow through in the rest of our products into our website. So this will be our new look moving forward. This is a bit darker because this is a nighttime optic. You'll see in the daytime optics, it'll be a brighter look. It'll be a off-white kind of earth tone look, but you'll see this. You'll start to see this more and more. NRA, we just got back from NRA. Great job to everyone who participated in NRA. We had a great turnout there. Our booth reflected what we did at SHOT Show. This was taken before the show actually started, but you can see the Pulsar side, Sightmark side, Bullet Safe, and Inforce. We also represented Kofi Yeager up on the corners here as well too. Awards. We won the NRA Golden Bullseye Award for Best Optic of the Year with the Sightmark Wraith Mini 4K. We also won a number of awards from Tactical Choice, and also Kevin won Writer of the Year from Tactical Retailer. I'm sorry. So, yeah, so good job to Kevin, and then also this is the crew that was at NRA. These are some covers that we got within the first 4 months this year. So 4 months, 4 covers, that's not too bad at all. Shooting times, we had the Presidio on there, Tactical Retailer, Precision Rifle Shooter, and Guns and Ammo with Inforce. So 3 covers with Sightmark, 1 with Inforce, so that's pretty good. So hoping to raise brand awareness. We're getting a little more aggressive on the advertising front. So brand awareness is really the measure of if you're being successful in marketing. So trying to here in so this Guns and Ammo precision rifle shooter. We also had a feature article in this as well too with the Presidio. So that's a really nice spread. Really good job by Kevin in getting this done. Then Ballistic Magazine as well too. We got a nice feature article on the Latitude. So really good job. That's by Fred Masterson. He's a good friend of ours and he does a lot of work with us. So he's a good friend of Kevin's. So good job to Kevin for getting that done as well. That is it for me.
Good morning, Cellmark Global Team. So I'm going to give Q1 updates real quick. The new team members with my team, Steven, he is our firmware engineer, so he's focused on working on bug fixes with our firmware, QA, tech support teams. If you guys ever have any issues come up with customer finds something not working right with a button sequence, get with Steven and Andrew. He'll help us out. Another focus he's on is developing our own thermal core technologies. That's going to be a long-term play. Hopefully in the future with Dark 30, if we can work that out, we can have better control of our costs and production capabilities with that brand. And the new product developments. Seth is going to help demonstrate some of our new products we have coming out. So on Kopf-Jaeger and KJI, we have what we call our MAG series. This is a magnetic quick detach shooting rest system. So this has that improved mobility over what you currently know with the Reaper Rest and Reaper Rail. This emulates like a ball head system. And it also gives you that quick detach operation. That's a 50-pound pull. And if you wanted to carry it with the tripod, you can. Well, there you go. That's aggressive. It gives you that proven mobility, that rapid target acquisition. You don't have to have that pan tilt robotic motion with the Reaper rig. And then right now it comes with the M-LOK attachment and the magnetic head magnetic tripod rest attachment. And we are working on, for bolt guns, we're also working on a sling stud attachment. For Inforce, we are moving to the WMLX Gen 3 line. This has been Chris O'Brien's baby for the past, I don't know, 4 to 6 months. improvements here, we've moved the head from the plastic to the fully aluminum head. That improves heat dissipation, LED performance. The clamp, we moved from the plastic to full aluminum, and then also the screw is now slotted. So if you wanted to make it more permanent, you can take a flathead and really, crank that down. Lighting performance, I'm gotta have notes for my numbers. On the WML, this is the compact single battery one. So we've improved lumen performance from 400 to 450 lumens. Candela jumped from 4,000 to 10,000 candela, and that's your spotlight intensity. And the throw distance, we've improved from 126 meters to 200 meters, or roughly 140 to up to 220 yards. And then the WMLX is your Gen 2, or your 2 battery version. Lumen improved from 800 to 1,100 lumens. The candela, that luminous intensity from 10,000 to 25,000 candela. And then that throw distance from 200 meters to 360 meters, or roughly 220 yards to 350 yards. The last that we are pushing out is the XTM3 magnifier. So you guys remember the old XT3? That was that premium magnifier we had in our brand. We now have a replacement coming out for that as the miniaturized version. So to date, this is the lightest and most compact 3X magnifier in the market. Still has that flip to side action, a new designed on the locking QD lever. It's still fully waterproof, fog-proof, dust-proof, and fully multi-coated. So we'll leave these up here. If you guys, after the presentation, want to come up and play with this, get hands-on with it, you're welcome to. Thank you, Seth. Round of applause for Seth. Beautiful as always. And then just a Q2 look ahead, jobs to be done this quarter. Design development, we're still on the hunt for hiring a mechanical engineer here in Texas to focus on Dark 30 projects and to support Chris up in Rhode Island on Enforce. Those 3 projects we went over, we're on the KJ, the Mag series, where once we get the final prototype in from our vendor and validate everything there, we'll start doing the production and marketing handoffs. Enforce WML Gen 3, production marketing that's in process. O'Brien's been working hand in hand with supply chain on that, and then starting to get plans in place to hand that off to marketing as well. And then Bullet Safe Tactical VP3 Fests. In the past, we've only had just a front barrier part. Now we're going to offer the full kits where it's front and back and black and dark earth. And then new products, new ventures that are works in progress. The KJI and the Kopfjäger Undertaker. So this is a system that we're building off of the old Reaper Rail system, but offering a QD attachment with it. And then Dark 30 thermal projects. I know I said last quarterly update, I was like, wait for next quarter, I'll have something for you. It's not quite ready yet. I want to do this right. So we are working on thermal projects. We have our 5 a.m. meetings every Thursday. But we're doing this. It's going to happen next in July. We'll have something special. It's close. It's like right under your nose or above your head. It's close. And then moving from the WML Gen 3s, Chris up at Enforce, he's going to start focusing on the Interchange series. This is a modular handheld weapon light series that is customizable, can work with aftermarket Surefire pressure pads. It's going to be awesome. More details to come next quarter on that. And then we're right now starting to define the next generation of Ultra Shots, what that's been going to look like in the future. I know Andrew has been working with Austin, Jeff, and we've been trying to get everybody's feedback and from those stakeholders to make this something special, and James Reeves as well. So get that LE input as well. So that we'll have more details for next quarter. Next up is operations.
All right, I'm going to give a quick update on operations, on what we've been working on, and then where we're headed next quarter. So the first point is a transition of the Enforce procurement down to Mansfield. The team here has been supporting the procurement with the help of Chris O'Brien and Mark at Emissive. The next one is we've hired a manufacturing engineer about 6 to 8 weeks ago at Emissive. David's been up there doing some good work. And Wendy, Keith, and I are going to be up there next week to see what he's done on site. We worked on the Kofjaeger line. We have some overstock of Kofjaeger in our warehouse, and we've come up with a plan to repurpose some of those parts into KGI so we can get those to Greg and get those moved. And the last one, I've been working with Keith and engineering have been working together to establish supplier general requirements. Those will be sent out to Cellmark suppliers. It'll give them a good idea of our expectations and better accountability when we receive new products. These are a couple of the objective updates that you may have seen high levels of in Paycor. So RTF has been a hot topic. Last month, we were able to ship out 3 RTF shipments for over $750,000. All 3 of those are going to be repaired and returned to us. And we have another Pulsar RTF for $450,000 that should be sent out this week. In negotiations with the RTF, we have supply payment and warranty terms that are currently being renegotiated, and we're looking for defined warranty returns. And then another along the Kofjaeger line was we looked at current Reaper system and found 35% of savings in future components. And then the returns team is fully caught up, and they're operating at a 24-hour, 1 workday less processing time, and that provides a better experience for the customer. Big wins in Q1. Shipping is fully caught up. I know in the middle of this quarter they saw a large influx, got fully caught up. The in-house production items, aside from the 1 KJI order that we have, we're fully caught up on in-stock, all bullet safe, and all Kofjaeger. And then with Chess's team, they've involved the QA team in their, as she mentioned, sending updates to customers using Zendesk. And then for Enforce, mentioned the transition of the procurement down to Mansfield, and Enforce also completed their full physical inventory and began the audit for that inventory. Looking ahead to what we have this quarter, as I mentioned, Keith's going to be heading up to Rhode Island next week to conduct the internal audit, and then that's for the ISO certification, and then in June, the external audit will happen. And we're looking at putting, similar to what we did with Bullet Safe and Kofjaeger, establishing a work order process for Emissive inside of their NetSuite, and at the same time, preparing them to come over to SAP. And then as Jeff mentioned, the delivery of the Wraith Thermal, I got notification this morning that DHL picked up a shipment of those that are going to be air freighted in. So I'm hoping those will be here sometime next week. And been working closely with Chris on the Gen 3, as Jonathan mentioned. And then we're also looking to recruit a manufacturing engineer for Mansfield to do some of the similar work that David started doing for us up in Rhode Island. And I think Daryl's going to cover infrastructure.
Thank you, Drew. Yeah, I'll go over this real quick. Mike is out today. He and Wendy both are at Leadership Mansfield. They're working on some leadership stuff here in the community. So that's what they're doing, just in case you were wondering. But thank you, Drew, for doing that. So, you know, on the SAP, we are officially fully implemented. We still have some pain points with that. I know between each department, there's different things that everyone still has some struggles with, but we have some good consultants on board with us now that I believe are going to be able to really make some tremendous improvements here in the next quarter, let's say. Next quarter, I'm hoping we can say, hey, we're closer to being at steady state. So we're working hard at that. So he's got some notes up here. I won't read all this out. The data warehouse stuff that we're doing is moving along. That's so that we have a consistent way to store our data, keeping it safe, controlled, and all that good stuff. And then we're looking at adding PDM or some type of data management that's outside of just data access. It's how we store everything and control it. So back here we have, a small, it's kind of short walking trail, but, that's out there and it's, springtime and summer, available for you guys to take a lunch break walk. And then some of the objectives, some of the key processes that they've been working on, they're getting standardization on those and just continuing improvement in our business systems. The biggest effort for infrastructure. And Korea's.
Thank you, Daryl. How am I going to follow that? All right. Before I get into formal wall of text, I want to introduce our newest addition to the team, Melanie Reynolds. She goes by Nikki. So we complete our team now. We have Nicole and Nikki on AP and Margie and Penny on AR. So stop by, introduce yourself, say hi. So we have the complete team whenever you get a chance. Wall of text. I don't like to do text, so this is a little bit different for me, but it's actually not as much as it maybe looks like and appears. So accounting kind of had a whirlwind in Q1. Things we could do, things we couldn't do. A lot more on the couldn't do's than we could on the could do's. So just to kind of really hit on the basics. Couldn't invoice. Couldn't save an invoice as a PDF. I'm not going to read every single one of these, but if you notice and you have a sharp eye, the list next to it is things that we can do now that we're over with Q1. It's not a complete list. It's not everything I want us to say we're fully up and running and functional and we're ready to go. But what this does do is it shows you kind of the progress we're making, and we're making strides to that steady state. It's basic stuff that we were able to finally get over the hill on and start to move towards. My goal is to let accounting, finance kind of fall back into the background to where there's not an issue with it. There's not a problem with the process where it's clearly defined, and I don't want us to be a topic of conversation when it comes to what we can and can't do. When accounting is working the way it should, you should never even think twice about it. And that's the state I want us to get to, for their benefit and for our benefit outside every other department. So anything we can do to help get us there, working in different departments, we're going to continue working that way in that direction. So some objectives, some of the things we hit on in the beginning of Q1, budgets, FICO, dashboards, process automation. So we're finalizing the budget. We're at probably 99% there. We just got to really get the final checks and push them into the system, and then I'll work with each of the departments to get those trackers going. So getting dashboards and automation and everything created, that's the next step. We got the kind of, what do you want to call, the easy stuff done in Q1. So the next step is now, how do we track that? How do we know we're doing what we're supposed to be doing? How do we know we're tracking towards our goals? That's the stuff I want to get created and put in the dashboard, the automation pieces. That's a big goal for Q2. That goes into the automation and the performance tracking. That gives us those measurables to tell us we are working towards a steady state, an automated state, not just a feeling based, not just saying, well, I feel like we're there. Yeah, it's working. It might be working for you, but it's working for you. But I want it to work for everybody. So what can we do to get us there? So a little bit of Q2 look ahead. We plan to be current in all bookings and reconciliations and as many of the automated pieces as we can by the end of Q2. So we're already in Q2, so we're making strides that way. But by the end of it, I want to be as current as possible and make it easy for each of these other departments to rely on accounting and finance. I want to have the 2022 audit complete. It's a voluntary audit, by the way, a financial audit that we are voluntarily going through and putting ourselves through. So 2021 audit, I'm waiting for the final reports back, and then 22 is going to be underway. So by the end of Q2, I want to have that finished, and that's just more for the high level side of making sure that what we present to banks and to lenders and everything is what we say it is. So third set of eyes on it is always appreciated by them, and it validates that what we are doing here as a business reflects that in the financials. Fully automated AP and AR. So those are the two big pieces of accounting that I really want to make sure that we get using the system, use it the way it should, because it does stretch out and kind of waterfall and affect other departments. If those two pieces aren't working, somebody somewhere is going to feel that. And I really want to make sure that we get those pieces buttoned up. We've been deeming a lot of quote unquote summer projects, things that were kind of punting or maybe phase 2 of the implementation once we got to the steady state. So there's a lot of pieces here on just third-party integration, automation pieces that we're using that maybe we're just scratching the surface on what we're paying for and what we're using, where there's a lot more tools that we need to get in there and actually start to use and utilize. So everything from sales tax to expense reporting to any kind of enhancements on the SAP side. Those are things that I want to really dive into this summer once we hit the end of Q2 and really start to kind of optimize. Now for legal.
I really don't know how I'm going to follow that because I don't have much up here, but hearing from the lawyer, that's probably better. So I'll keep it short and sweet. As a lot of people have mentioned, Cellmark Asia, we're fully engaged to get that up and running. You'll hear a lot more updates over the next quarter. Got a lot going on there, a lot of exciting things, but probably in the next month, we'll have that fully operational. Duty drawback process. A lot of you have probably seen in Paycor that we have one of the objectives is to complete our duty drawback process. So for many of you know, whenever we export goods out of the country, we can claim duties back on the items that we have exported. Or if customers send back products that are defective or need to be repaired or destroyed, we can get taxes back on that. So we've got a lot of products in the warehouse that are slated to be put into that process. And so over the next 6 months, we'll be working to clear those items out and get the taxes back on that. Foreign trade zone, I think I mentioned in our last meeting that V and I are working on a project to see whether or not we could set Cellmark up as a foreign trade zone. What that would allow us to do is bypass paying taxes on goods that we import here. So again, that'd be a great financial savings, but we're still looking at that. And then continued growth through acquisitions. As most of y'all know, over the last couple of years, we've been really active in buying companies, trying to grow our business through acquisitions. This year started out a little bit slow, but we're definitely looking at some opportunities. I hope to have some updates for you coming months. HR.
Good morning. Okay, I'm just going to go over a couple quick things. I want to talk a little bit about our Q1 accomplishments. Some of it will be a little bit redundant from what I talked about last time. We're certainly staying busy in human resources. Hiring is still our #1 priority. So Katie's been busy. We have several open positions. So we're really hoping that you guys can help us with referrals. If you know somebody great, would be a good asset to Cellmark. We did complete our employee referral program. We have yet to have somebody submit one. So we would love to have our very first one from one of you to be submitted. Again, there is cash as a reward for that. So we really encourage that. But Katie's also been busy because we are in the process of interviewing interns for this summer that can make a tangible impact at Cellmark during their summer internship. So we are very, very busy. The other option, or the other things that we've completed, we've obviously asked you guys for some help with this, but making sure we have all of our employee records in Paycor. So we have a one-stop shop for anything that we need employee related, so it's all in one place. You guys helped us with that on the education piece, and we're going to draw here in just a minute for that. And then revised Cellmark Bucks program. So we have done that. I'm going to have more information about that toward the end of today. And then we with the acquisition of Emissive, we are in the process or finalizing the combining of the two different handbooks. They've had a handbook for a period of time, and then we're combining theirs with ours so that everybody's using the same platform from a handbook perspective. Okay, so focus in quarter two. We are rolling out the Cellmark employee newsletter that should hit May 1st, so you guys will see that. Thank you for contributing to that as I ask you guys for feedback. I feel very close to many of you who put in your favorite movie, so that'll be fun to see. We have 44 people so far that have put that information in. And then employee satisfaction survey coming out in the next 1 to 2 weeks, so be looking for that. Your feedback's really important. I'll touch on that here in just a little bit. And then we're working on focused manager training curriculum and the schedule for the remainder of the year for training managers. And then also training and development planning for 2023 in terms of employee opportunities as well. Our HR objectives are mostly focused on you. I think I talked about this at the last update. So we're looking at employee and management training, so how to give you guys advancement opportunities and train you in your roles. And then talent development, talent acquisition, performance management, platforms that will help manage that process. And then, of course, the employee experience. So we're starting with onboarding. So we talked a little bit about that last time, but those are our focuses for 2023. We're moving ahead in some of those, and some of those we're still working toward a final state in those. Okay, so one thing I wanted to talk a little bit about was internal communication. So you guys saw I did submit or send to you guys an internal communication plan. So I talked about internal communication a lot last time. This is making sure that you guys are aware of what's going on. This forum right here is a good example of that. We're going to utilize these to give you all an update on how the company's doing, how each department is doing, the things that we're working on, and things like that. I like to call it responsible communication, so I wanted just to define that here so you guys could see, understand what I mean when I say that, because you probably have heard me say that a lot of times. So it's transparent and ethical communication process that enables the sharing of information in a clear, concise, and timely way that promotes trust, openness, and mutual respect. And that's the goal here. We want to develop trust within our organization and within each of you. With that said, though, responsible communication is a two-way street. So you can't just have one side participating in that. So I wanted to touch on the responsibilities and the accountability of Cellmark, and then the accountability to all of you in this, okay? So first, Cellmark's accountability. So we plan to provide company information through a number of different ways, okay? These types of meetings, we're also going to be focusing on the content of your departmental meetings. I know you focus on things that are going on in your department, but we're also going to create that as a forum for you guys to ask questions and understand things that we may talk about here a little bit better if you want to talk about it on a small group basis. We are looking at the quarterly newsletter, a way to really push out additional information there. So it's going to be very robust. I've seen a few of the previous newsletters. There's going to be a lot more information in this. So we encourage you guys to read that. And then, of course, our monthly CEO video announcement. We're working to be more targeted in those and really focus on the things that are coming up and the things that are important to Cellmark. Now, what does this mean for all of you? What we need from all of you is we need you to attend these meetings, and when we send information out, we need you guys to actually read it. That's how you get informed. So if we're going to send it out, our assumption is that you will read it. And then second, ask questions. This is a big one. I know with an organization this size, because I came from an organization with this size, you know, it's easy to talk amongst yourselves and then stories become formed about things that aren't actually true. And then it just develops this underlying tone within the groups. So I would encourage you, if you've heard something and you don't know if it's true or not, ask your supervisor, ask any of the directors, or feel free to come to my office and ask that question. And we will, if we're able to answer it, we will answer it. Okay, there's not many questions that I can't answer, but there are some. But we want you to get the true answer. We don't want there to be this level of misunderstanding or untruth that keeps getting talked about and talked about and talked about, okay? And then share feedbacks, thoughts, and ideas. So we are going to give you guys, I touched on this last time, we are going to give you guys some forums for sharing your feedback. But we really need you to share it. So the employee satisfaction survey is going to be a way to do that. It's going to be, I won't say lengthy, but I mean, it should only take you about 10 to 15 minutes. But we are going to be asking your feedback on several areas, ways we can communicate better, our in benefits, wellness, things in your department, how we can better support you, those types of things. But the only way we can address those is if you guys give us honest, candid feedback in that. And then the last one is just give grace. We're not, I think I said this in one of my very first emails to you guys, we're not always going to get it right, but understand that we're trying to get it right. So when we send an email, when we do one of these events, we're trying to give you as much information as we possibly can. So we're not going to be perfect. Nobody's perfect, but just give us grace when we do this. All right.
Hello, this is Greg Sharp. And for those who do not know me, I'm the director of Cellmark OD, the arm of the Cellmark global family responsible for the EMEA APAC region. First quarter 2023 was successful for us, but not as successful as last year. We failed to meet our quarterly quota, but we did grow in quarter-over-quarter revenue. We're starting to see the demand slow down as people in the region realize the threat of the Russian hordes crossing the border is not quite urgent right now, and inflation has really started to bite. Additionally, there were some challenges in getting KJI stock, which made us miss the entire first quarter for this brand. Our big wins were in marketing and sales. So far in 2023, we have shipped products to partners in 42 distinct countries. Our goal is 60 countries by the end of the year. Our marketing team has negotiated for marketing actions in 15 countries so far. Our goal is 18 countries. Additionally, we've made great strides in creating multiple language versions of the manuals for our best-selling products. We expect to have the top-selling SKUs complete by mid-May and then start to transition to SKUs which we do not sell as well. So if you're selling into Quebec or South America, you may have a product manual you can send to your local partner in their preferred language. Looking ahead, second quarter will see the launch of the Wraith Thermal. This will be our very first foray into thermal sales as we do not sell Pulsar. This summer, we expect to begin our implementation of SAP. Lastly, we will seek to expand both the number of unique countries with active clients and our media presence as well. Everyone on our team says hello, and we're looking forward to our continued success.
Okay, go over a few things. They talked about the Asia Pacific location. Jonathan mentioned one of the things we have had some success there is in the whole region, having some presence just helps us gain some capability. So the whole idea there in our design and development is just getting some resources globally that we can count on to help us get our products to market much faster. And so far, that team has done a really good job working with them and getting mainly the Dark 30, but there's some others in works as well. So we hope to keep growing that, but we have actively gotten one design firm that's helping us a good bit there. The next steps will be in some quality control that Keith will help get us some inspectors in that region so that we can go be continually visiting our vendors and try to catch issues before they get here. That's our key, is not having that many touch points, and it's a lot of cost involved in that. So we're going to try to help there. And then increasing our manufacturers and other capabilities. We have 3 contract manufacturers that are in process right now. We're working on some of those agreements, and we expect those to come together here in the next quarter or so. And then, of course, Jonathan mentioned that, but they're helping launch some of these products. And then the entity process, Jared hit on a little bit, but we're getting pretty close. We've made some headway as of recent as of this week that's getting us lined up to get that all settled. We got the one direct hire that's our director over there. Some of you may have met him, Martin. We'll get him engaged in these meetings quarterly moving in the future. And we expect to fill 3 to 4 more positions, which are related around engineering and in the supply chain and some of those efforts to help us in our global efforts. So moving along. So now, Stephen, I guess we can go. Anybody online, you guys are free to jump off. Thank you for joining us and appreciate you being able to be a part of what we're doing here.